nothing like a new topic I'm going to start. Just we were verifying, the functions topics in the Dev C++ IDE. So let me share the Dev C++. Everybody is able to see? Able to see the screen of my computer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I think some of you already, I don't know whether you have started the practicing of the functions topic or not, but here I'm just writing a simple program where addition of two numbers, I think even I think max of two numbers I have explained in the class, but here some program is there called addition function, which is not there, which is not the among the keywords, and neither it is a predefined function. So make sure that whatever name you are trying to give to a new function, it should be new, right, which cannot be among the keywords, and nor it should be of equal to the name of the predefined function. These two things you must care. So when I said that function definition is one of the important thing you must take care while writing the function. So here first we are defining this whole part. Just a minute. Yeah, this whole part. Yeah, this part. Whatever is highlighted, this is called function definition. In the function definition, then again the first line is called function heading or function signature, where it will talk about total three things. One is called return type, then name of the function, then number of parameters. So here you can see the return type of the addition is we are expecting some kind of a result from this particular function, which is of type integer. So that is the reason integer is a return type. Then I'm going to give two inputs to this particular functions called int. Both of them are belongs to the integer only. So just I'm going to have a declaration number 1 comma number 2. Okay, something like that. So to send the result of the two numbers, I need to have one more variable. Just a minute. Yeah. So to have the addition between the two numbers or the result, I need to have a separate, the local variable. So I have declared the int sum. Then simply you can say arguments are used here where sum is equal to, I'm just performing the number 1 plus number. It's only a logic, right? Still it is not under execution. It's only a definition part. Then finally I'm performing the returning the value or a result of these two additions. Just a minute. By using a statement, return statement in the end of the function definition. So it's very simple function definition which has only one task to perform addition of two given inputs. Coming to the main, I'm just asking the user to give two inputs. So for that reason, I need to have some declarations here. So variable 1 and variable 2 is going to take the input from the user. So I'm just writing printf enter the number 1. So user is going to type some number. So this is called variable 1 is getting updated by the user through the keyboard. That is called scanf. Similarly, I'm just asking the user to enter the type number 2. Then variable 2 is going to be updated from the keyboard input given by the user through the second scanf. Then comes here. The processing is not done inside the main program, which simply we are passing variable 1 comma variable 2 to the addition. So can anybody tell what are the names given to these two variables? I think I said we call the parameters which are used in the function calling are what they called. What they are called? I gave some name, no?
Actual
parameters. Very good. Actual parameters. Yeah, you are trying to give the actual parameters in the function call. Then your program generally jump to the function. Then the variable 1 value will be copied into this number 1, and variable 2 will copy it into the number 2, isn't it? So number 1 is going, whatever input you typed right from the number 1, variable 1 is going to be here. Then both of them will get added. The moment return sum is executed, don't you think the result is going to be updated? Isn't it? Yes or no? Respond. And one more thing I just wanted to mention here, because in the Dev C++, basically it is allowing the C++ features. You have a flexibility to define the variable even in the between the program, but as a C programming point of view, never declare statements in the middle of the program. Okay, it is a C++ compiler, it is accepting, but generally you are not supposed to declare the variable wherever needed. Basically you have to declare all the variables in the beginning of the program only. So result is a garbage. Once addition is going to be returning this particular sum value, the result is getting updated with the addition of the two numbers. And finally I'm trying to print the output is the percentile d without semi. Actually, you can use a backslash n, but not a problem. Whatever value is written by the function, it is going to be printed. Then return 0, that's it. Is it clear? Any doubts in this program? Very simple program now. Respond.
Yes, sir.
It's a very simple program which we have instead of a max, it is an addition of two numbers. Let me execute. Yeah, let me execute this one. Yeah, it is asking enter the number one, maybe some 25, maybe some 75. Can you tell me if I enter, what will be the result?
100, sir.
Yeah, very simple. 100, and the thing is, the last three lines I don't want to see. What I'm supposed to do?
Get CH.
Get
Where?
CH.
Where?
Before return 0.
Before return 0. Okay, let me just wait. Just let me close this first. Before return 0 here, right? Get CH. Fine. So let me rerun this. So again, I'll just type 25 plus 23. Result is 48, isn't it? That's it. Then you can see enter. Is it clear? The addition is performed
Yes, sir.
inside the main or inside the function? Addition of the two numbers. Tell me. Addition of the two numbers are performed inside the main or in some other function?
Some other function.
Inside the functions.
Right. Yeah, it is in the some other function, not inside the main. Okay, I just asked whether it is inside the main or some other function. So it is some other function. Now, can I use here instead of number one, variable one? Well, these are what you are supposed to do actually. Programs are there, but you need to verify. Can I use the same names what I have used in the main program? As per the discussion,
Yes, sir.
what I said. What is the reason behind? No, you can use the same name even in the function also. What is the reason? Tell me, what is the reason? Will it work or not? You tell me first.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me verify. So perfectly working. Okay, 23, 24, 47. Okay, now can I use this as a sum? Can I use this as a sum? When you do not have any restrictions on the input names, output also doesn't have any restrictions, isn't it? Because the memory is different for the variables what you declare inside the main and what you declare inside the function. So that is the reason there's nothing wrong. Even if you take instead of a result, you can add some here, then some here. So and also here also some, right? Make sure that everywhere you must change. Let me save this and execute again. Perfect. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is one program. The second program just wanted to check is a little more complex, which is called prime number checking. So anybody written the prime number so far? Did I give a question on finding the prime number? Write a program for finding the prime number. I think assignment or homework I should have given. Did I give or not?
Yes,
Prime number?
sir.
I gave, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what was the logic you have written for knowing the given number is a prime or not? In mathematics, generally, how do you decide the prime number or how do you define a prime number?
It is divisible by its own and one. Sir.
Yeah, it is divisible by itself as well as by one, isn't it? So same thing we wanted to put into the logic of C programming. Is everybody got the right answer for your logic, or still some of you are yet to write the prime number verification by using a C program? Completed, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here I don't know how many of you written, but logic, anybody remembered what is the logic you have approached? Your approach was what was the approach of finding the prime number? How did you write
N
the
mod I
logic?
equal to 0.
Sorry?
N mod I is equal to 0.
N mod I equal to 0. What is N? What is I?
N is the required number.
Mm.
I run from 1 to n.
Okay.
Count equal to 2, then it's a prime number.
Okay.
If not, it's not a prime.
Very good. You're trying to find the division of the given number right from the 1 to itself. And if you get the remainder equal to 0 more than twice, then obviously it is not a prime number, because every prime number is going to be divisible by only two things. One is 1, other one is itself. So the remainder must be 0 only 2 times. If you get more than 2 times, definitely it is not a prime. That is a very perfect logic of finding the prime number. So here also same thing we have adopted. So here thing is, yeah, in the previous example, I just forgot to mention that. Did I use a function declaration here? Did I use a function declaration? I said there are 3 things, no? Function definition, function calling, and function prototype, or a function declaration. Did I do the function declaration in this program? Done or not? You respond.
Yes,
What do
sir.
you? It is done now in this function declaration. I am not able to see where it is in this program. What do you mean by function declaration? Information to the compiler about the function which you are going to define, like return type, the name of the function, and number of arguments, and what are the types, isn't it? Respond.
Yes.
So in this program, do you have a function declarations?
No, sir.
You don't have, right? Still it is working, no? What is the reason behind still it is working even though I am not using the function declaration?
So you defined it before the main function.
Very good. So for others who have not understood, let me remove this function here. Let me paste here. Okay. Now you tell me, if I execute, will it work or not? You tell me. What do you feel? I said no. You predict, then execute. What it will give? So luckily it is working actually. There is actually supposed to be error, but in C++ it is taking inbuilt. I don't know. It should give an error actually. Because of the compiler, we are unable to show that error. But generally, whenever you define the function after the main, always you are supposed to write function declaration. So what you can do is simply copy the first line, go to the beginning of the program, and simply keep a semicolon. So this is called function declaration. Okay. Function declaration. Is it clear? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So rule is this one, even though it is not giving the error, but I just want all of you to always remember that when the function is defined before the main, function declaration is optional, whereas if you define afterwards, it has to be the function declaration. So that is what here also it is done. So what is this line is called? What is this line is called? Return type, name of the function, then declaration, isn't it? Because I have written function main first, then I define the checking the prime number. Okay, this program is very simple. It is asking the user to enter the range of prime numbers from where to where you wanted to see. So I'm just asking the user, you give me the starting number, give me the last number. In between these two, wherever whichever number is the prime, I will try to show you. That is the meaning of it. So I might be used for some iteration variable. Flag is to verify is it a prime or not. That is a simple, 4 different variables are needed. So here what I do is enter 2 positive integers. So I might type maybe 2 and 50 example. So between 2 and 50, what all prime numbers are there, it is going to print. But here you can see the prime numbers between the given the 2 and the given 50 are. I'm just using the for loop. The for loop will start from the n1, because I is going to be n, because you can see here instead of n1 plus 1, right? So lower number is 2, so I is equal to 2 plus 1, 3. So because between numbers only I want, so I'm just taking a 3. I is equal to 3 initially, then 3 is less than or equal to 50, which is true, come here, then I'm using a separate function to verify that 3 belongs to prime or not. Okay, that is a condition. So it will jump to this particular prime number here, the n equal to 3, where I value is 3, that will be copied into the formal parameter n here, n equal to 3. Then I need two variables j and flag here. Then j is equal to 2 here, that counter 2 is removed because 1 anyhow it is going to print a reminder is 0. So you can simply skip. Then suppose I have 2 by 2, it is 1, no? Suppose you give 5 by 2 is, okay, I think n by 2, suppose it is 2 by 2 is 1. So 2 is less than or equal to 1, which is false, it won't go here. So when it won't go here, flag will be 0, break. Okay, for the value of 2, no, sorry, 3 is what is going to happen, because I'm sending 3 here, I equal to 3, n is equal to 3, and j is equal to 2, 2 less than or equal to 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is how much? 3 by 2 value is how much? Respond.
1.
1, right? So plus j here. So now already you sent the 2 less than or equal to 1, true or false? False, isn't it?
False.
When it is false, will it enter into the for loop?
No.
If it is won't enter into the for loop, where it will come directly? Return flag, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Is it not this line? No, the first line indicates. This indicates this line. Okay, this is the entire. When I am just clicking on here, it is showing this is the block of the for loop. So for loop it won't enter. When it won't enter, what it is returning?
Flag.
What is the value of the flag? What is the value of the flag?
1.
1, right? So it is 1, isn't it? This flag is different, this flag is different, but the value of this flag is copied into the flag of the main, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, 1 double equal to 1, true or false?
True.
Yeah, percentile di, what is the value of I? Is it not 3? Respond. Is it not 3 or not? I equal to 3 only, no? You are passing here, no? When first time I is equal to n1 plus 1, 2 I have entered. So 3 is a prime number or not?
Yes.
Yeah, so 3 it is going to print. After that, plus I becomes 4. 4 less than 50. True or false? 4 less than 50. True or false? Respond. True. So again it will enter. It will call again, check prime number. Function is called again with I value how much right now? 4, right? Now j n equal to 4 here. Again int j flag equal to 1. Again it will be declared. J is equal to 2. J less than or equal to 4 by 2. 4 by 2 is how much?
2.
Yeah. 2 less than or equal to 2. True or false? 2 less than or equal to 2. True. So it will enter into the for loop. After entering into the for loop, n value is how much? 4. 4 percentile 2. 4 percentile 2 is how much? 0, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Remainder is 0, no? So 0 double equal to 0, which is true. So flag becomes 0. When flag becomes 0, do you think again I need to repeat or not required to check for remaining numbers? Not required, no? What is the break will do now? What the break will do? Indefinite, irrespective of the condition, it will simply make your control to come return flag, isn't it? So what is the value of the flag here? 0. The 0 will copy here. 0 double equal to 1, true or false? 0 double equal to 1, true or false? So it won't print. Printf won't get executed. So simply I plus plus. Then becomes 5. 5 less than 50, true or false? True. Isn't it? 5 less than 50, true, no? Then I, n equal to I here again. And n equal to 5, again j flag equal to 1 will be declared. Then j is equal to 2 onwards, it will start. 5 by 2. What is the result again? Isn't 2 only?
Yes, sir.
So again, 2 less than or equal to 2, it is true again. Enter inside. Then you have 5 percentile 2. What is the value? Tell me 5 percentile 2. Is it not 1?
Yes, sir. 1.
Yes,
1
sir.
double equal to 0. True or false?
False.
False.
So do you think these two statements gets executed or they won't get executed? They
Won't get executed.
Yeah, so directly it will come here. Return flag. What is the value of the flag?
1.
1.
1.
So this flag will be updated by 1. 1 double equal to 1.
True.
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 Then percentile 5. 5 is going to be printed. 5 is a prime or not?
Yes, sir.
Prime, sir.
Yeah, it will be repeating till how long? Till I becomes 49, isn't it?
Yes,
Because
sir.
I gave n2 equal to 50, so between 3 and 49 it will verify each number, is it a prime or not. If it is prime, it will simply print it is prime, otherwise it will not print. Let me execute this. Yeah, I'm entering between 2 and 50 again. 2 space 50. To verify all of them are prime or not. 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47. Are they not prime?
Yes, sir. Prime.
Yes,
So
sir.
very simple. You can re-execute to see more and give very simple range 2 and 10. Between 2 and 10, only 3 numbers are prime, 3, 5, and 7, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So like that you can do how many you want. You wanted to see only the you don't want to see the remaining lines, you can use this. Maybe 2 and 1000, very difficult, but okay. These are the different numbers between 2 and 1000. These are the prime numbers. Okay. So at home, based on your time, you can verify each number is a prime or not. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then comes, I'm trying to explain Armstrong. What is Armstrong number? What do you mean Armstrong number? Respond. What is Armstrong number?
Sum of cubes of its.
Yeah, sum of cubes of each digits of a
Each
given
digit.
number is equal to itself is called Armstrong.
Armstrong number.
So what is the any number you remembered?
153.
Okay, after that, after 153, any number you remembered?
370. 370.
370, yeah? Okay, fine. Like that, at least 10 numbers I want. Can you tell me? Difficult, no? Isn't it? You
Yes,
can write a program. You can write a program like prime number just now I have written, right? Between 1 and 10,000, what are the different Armstrong numbers that you need to think over a logic? Whereas this program is simply, you give some input that will be verified. Is it a prime or an Armstrong? Okay. Here it's not going to print what are the different prime and different Armstrong numbers. It's only verify. You can see here. You are checking the prime number. You are checking the Armstrong number. That's it. There's no other way of doing it. The logic is same thing. Function declarations are coming for two different functions. One is checking the prime number and checking the Armstrong number. Both of them will return the integer and also inputs are the integers. Coming to the main program, you have n comma flag where n will be the number which you are going to give as an input. Flag is going to decide is it a no, if it is 1, it will be one category, otherwise the other category. I'm asking the user just type the some integer. So n is going to be updated with the value entered by the user. Then I'm simply calling the check prime number. Same logic we might have adapted here. Check prime number here, right? Where the n is going to be having that value. Then int I comma flag equal to 1, then square root. Let us see what is the meaning of a square root. I don't know why square root is written here. But okay, not an issue, but generally you can have any logic in this. Some other logic is because I have not discussed about mathematical function which are predefined, but let it be. Suppose I give a 2. What is square root of 2? What is square root of 2?
1.414.
1.41.
So do you think 1.414 it will be storing, or only 1 it is going to store? Because the square root belongs to which data type?
Int.
Integer. So even though you got the result as 1.414, how much value is going to be stored? 1 only, no?
1.
Yeah, same thing here. Okay, it will be 1 less than or equal to, means it is basically 1 actually whenever you send 2. So I think first time it won't enter, so return flag. So whatever value you type, 2 is basically prime number or not? 2.
Yes, sir.
Who is-
Prime.
Yeah, so return flag, where flag is equal to 1, it will directly print it is prime. Suppose you give a 5, not 5, you take a 6. What is square root of 6? Approximately. 2 change? Isn't it? 2 change, you know?
Sure.
So square root will be 2. So whether you write here n by 2 or a square root, the meaning is same. For the 6, it is going to be 2, and 2 is less than or equal to 2, which is true, and 6 by 2 percentile equal to 0, which is true. Again flag becomes 0, break, so flag is 0 going to be returned. So 0 double equal to 1 is false, so it is not a prime number. That is what it is going to, else part is going to be executed, isn't it? Is it clear? Check prime number is very simple logic. Instead of n by 2, it was used square root. Anything you can use. Only thing is predefined mathematical functions I have not discussed, but if you want you can take it as also not an issue. Coming to the Armstrong number, let us verify. Whenever a number is given to verification, what it is going to perform is it is going to perform sum of digits, not sum of digits. Store the number of digits of number in n. Okay, let me take original number will be 153 as per your understanding. Okay, so it is 153. Now 153 is not equal to 0. True or false? Respond.
True.
150 true. So 153 not equal to this true. I'll enter here. 153 by 10. How much? 153 by 10 is how much?
15.
15. So original number will be 15. Then store the number of digits of number in n. Somewhere there is a change is happening here. Let me verify. Then original number is equal to again 153, because number is not going to be modified. Not equal to 0 is fine. Then remainder. What is the remainder? Remainder is how much? 153 by 10. It will be 3, isn't it?
3. Yes, sir.
Then result is equal to, what do? Power is again is a predefined function. Remainder which is 3, and n will be n is how much? Yeah, it will decide here. Here you need to HR. This for loop is only going to decide how far n is going to be incremented. In our case, 153 by 10, 15, right? So n is going to be incremented. N is how much initially? 0, no? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So n becomes 1. Then again it will enter. 15 not equal to 0 is true. 15 by 10. What is the result?
15.
1. 1, no.
1.
It is 1, right? So again n will be incremented. Again 1 not equal to 0. True or false? True. 1 by 10. 1 by 10 how much?
0.
0, right? 0 means 0 by anyhow it will increment. So n becomes 3. After that 0 not equal to 0. True or false? False, isn't it?
False, false.
So this for loop is verification of how many digits are there in the given number. 153 has got 3 digits, so this n is going to be updated 3 times. Whereas this is going to talk about each time the remainder is extracted. So first time remainder will be 3. So result is equal to, initially result is taken as a 0 somewhere here. Yeah, initially result equal to 0 here, because why double is taken means the predefined function power return type will be the double. That is the reason result is taken as a double. Remember, okay? So I'm just trying 3 comma 3. It is 3 power 3 basically. So 3 power 3 will be stored in the result. It's a partial result. Again, go back here. Then it will be 15 actually. Original number becomes 15. 15. No, somewhere there is a mistake here. Because after remainder is taken, your original number must be reduced to the 15. It won't work, I guess. Because original number remains 153 again. 153 by 10 again 15. 15 not equal to 0. Okay, fine, not an issue. Second time original number become 15. 15 by 10 is how much? 15 by 10. Remainder.
5.
Remainder 5. So again remainder will be 5. 5 to the power of 3. So earlier the result is containing 3 power 3 result. Now 5 power 3 result is added to the older result. Again it will go back. 15 by 10. 1 by 10, no? 1 basically, isn't it? Original number was 15. 15 by 10 is 1 now. 1 not equal to 0. True or false? True.
True.
So 1 percentile 10. 1 percentile 10 is how much? Remainder equal to 1 again. So 1 power 3. So you got 3 power 3 result, 5 power 3 result, and 153, no? Yeah, 1. First is 3 power, then 5 power, then 1, isn't it? You got all the cubes of the each digit into this particular result. Now I'm verifying is my result is equal to the given input, which is number. You can just somewhere here, isn't it? The input what you have given and result what I have obtained, if both are same, the flag is 1, else the flag is 0. You are simply sending the flag. If flag is equal to 1, your verification here now. If flag is equal to 1, I'm just telling it is an Armstrong number. Otherwise, it is not an Armstrong number. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So let me execute now. So enter a positive integer. If I enter 56, what is going to be? Result. Chepandi. It is not an Armstrong. At the same time, is it prime or not?
Not your prime number.
It is not a prime. So it is not a prime. It is not an Armstrong number. 56 not a prime. 56 not an Armstrong number. Correct or not? So let me execute again. Compile and run. Let me give 73. Prime or not?
Yes, sir.
But it is not an Armstrong, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
So 73 is a prime, but it is not an Armstrong. Then let me execute again. If I give a 153, what is going to happen? What is going to happen?
Armstrong number.
It is not a prime, huh? Yeah, it will.
Not a prime, sir.
153 will be divisible by which number?
3.
3.
3, okay. Then not a prime and it is an Armstrong.
Armstrong.
Not a prime and an Armstrong. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So last program I just wanted to verify, that is called static. And one more program is. There are two things I am just verifying here. The storage classes. Coming to the storage classes, automatic variables. So far all the programs are automatic variables only. Now I'm trying to show you only 3 cases. Register variable I'm not discussing, only 2. One is static, other one is external and global. So these 3 things I just wanted to mention here. So in this particular case, only the static example was given. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to declare static global variable, which is not Okay, let it be. Static int count or static global, both are same. If you write static or don't write, doesn't matter, because ultimately it is a global variable. Is it clear? The static has no significance. Even though you write, there's nothing wrong. That is the reason it's called what it is called. It's called global variable. Try to remember. Even though I did not discuss this particular topic we discussed, but this particular case I have not told. Even though you write static before the main, it will act as a global only. Okay, so this is a function declaration. This is the global variable declaration. Then I'm just entering into the main where there is no declarations at all. While count minus minus. What is the value of count here? Count is how much?
5.
5. 5 is a post increment or pre increment?
So post decrement.
Post decrement, but left hand side variable you have not assigned. That is the reason it doesn't matter whether you write minus minus count or count minus minus. Count becomes 4, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So as long as there is no left hand side variable, post and pre doesn't have any significance. So that is the reason don't worry about whether it is written before or after. So count becomes 4. Once 4 is a 0 or non-zero?
Non-zero.
Non-zero for a while is true or false? Any non-zero number inside the while condition, please, is it a true or false?
True.
True. So when it is true, it is going to call a function call, isn't it? It will directly jump here. After jumping here, it is going to declare a static variable int I is equal to 5. Then I plus plus I becomes 6, isn't it?
6.
Yeah, printf I is 6 and count is global variable, no?
Yes.
Yeah, you tell me what is I and what is count. I is equal to 6, count is
4.
4. Very good. Again, next time it will, once function is over, do you think I is going to be vanished or still remain?
Still remains.
It will remain, right? Very good.
Static.
Then it will go back here, the count minus minus again. So it becomes 3.
Yes.
It is going to call the function, it will come back here. Then I equal to 5 will be initialized, or older only this is going to be executed. It will ignore the static variable declaration second time. It will directly jump to the I plus plus. So what was the I earlier? 6.
6.
Now I becomes 7, isn't it?
7.
So it will become 6, 7, 8, 9. It becomes 4, 3, 2, 1, isn't it? Only 4 outputs.
Yes, sir.
So because, let me verify now. You can see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Only one extra thing we have not expected. Let us see why it has come. I is 10 and count is 0. Only this part we have not expected, isn't it? Let us verify. After 4, 3, 2, 1, it should execute. Achha, so it is taking that left hand side variable, even though you don't write. Okay, it will enter and it will decrease or something like that. Okay. If I write minus minus, let us verify. Because my expectation was when there is no left hand side variable, anything is okay. Now let us verify. Now it is, I think it should be only 4. You assume now?
Yes,
Understood
sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
So I thought only a left hand side variable, but make sure that here, because of the post decrement, the 5 is still, it is entering into the loop. I thought it was decrementing then entering. Is it clear now? Irrespective
Yes,
of the left hand
yes.
side variable, if it is a pre decrement, only 4 times the loop is going to be called. Post decrement, 5 times the loop is going to be called. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the last program now, which is external and global. So I'm just writing 2 different files. The first file is called main.c. You can see here. In this stdio.h, I'm going to write a separate file which is called support.c. Now, first time we're writing a program across multiple files. So here you can see there is a variable called int count. Is it a local or global? Which type of variable it is?
Global. Global.
Global, because it was declared before the main. So that is the reason it is a global variable. Then main count is equal to 5. So which count is going to be accessed? Local to the main or global? This count equal to 5, is it a global or local? You tell me.
So now it's local.
Local, sir.
There is no local declaration, no. Did I declare anything like int count is equal to 5 inside the main?
No.
No, so still it is a global only. I am accessing the global variable inside the main, isn't it?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that is a general common mistake you do in the examination also. Just because the count is visible inside the main, don't think it is a local. As long as I don't do any declaration inside the main, it is still global only, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So count equal to 5. Initially count was 0 because it was a global declaration. Default the value is 0. Updating the count value with a 5. Then what I am calling? Write the extern, right? Isn't it? Write extern. Did I define that function inside this main? This function is defined in this main or not? It is not defined, isn't it? So I just wanted to define some other file, support.c. Here we can see I wanted to access the global variable of the main inside the support.c. It is some other file. I'm writing here void write underscore extern is a function definition. Count is %d a count. What is the value of the count here? Can anybody tell what is the count here? How much? Do you think the statement is going to create a memory or it will only inform the compiler or extend the scope of the count? Which one is right? The first line, will it extend the scope of the global variable to the other file or it will create a memory again? You tell me. Respond. It is going
Extend
to,
the scope, sir.
yeah, it is going to extend the scope of the variable. So what was the count where it was defined or where it is declared? In the main.c. But in the support.c, I wanted to access. So if at all you wanted to access, you can simply use extern int count. So not only global variable to use some other place, but across the files, if at all you wanted to have accessibility by the global variables, extern symbol will be used. So simply what is the value of the count here? Already the main.c, what you have assigned?
5.
So don't you think here 5 is going to be printed? Yes or no? Now you tell me, can I run this program or can I run this program? Which is correct now? Running support.c is correct or running main.c is correct?
Support.c.
No, always entry point should be main, right? The support.c is always will be function definition, right? It can be used in any other program. I said no reusability. The write exam printf count, if at all some other program needs it, they simply include the support. So here I included what? Hash include support.c, isn't it?
Yes.
Then you can have so int count is when include support.c is done, all these contents, this whole 4 lines will be copied before the int count, isn't it? Is it not all the 4 lines of the support is copied into this main.c before the int count? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if
Yes,
at all
sir.
I wanted to access the global variable before its declaration, so I must use a extern. That is the reason extern variable will get significance. So now simply if you come back and that's it. So let me execute. The output should be 5. I think you are able to get 5 here. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is one of the way of writing the program. I'll share all the programs in a zip format. So because I have some other meeting, I just wanted to wind up today's class here itself. So just a minute, let me close